first video entitled Management Function, which focuses entirely on managerial tasks, managers are said to be the ones who will guide these people because management is said to be getting work done through people. Managers organize, lead, plan, and exercise control, in addition to organizing their work in order to decide how things should be done. Managers must plan in order to fulfill organizational objectives and improve the performance of their businesses or organizations. A manager must also have leadership qualities in order to inspire and motivate the people under their supervision. Finally, the manager must have control over the process in order to track progress, adhere strictly to the rules, and reach the desired outcome. The second video entitled Kind of Managers, the top, medium, first line, and team leader type of managers are discussed in the second video. They do various responsibilities, but they all share the same objective, which is to boost the organization performance. To do this, they follow the planning, organizing, leading, and controlling processes, while the middle set of business goals or currently employs those goals. The top serves as the leader or is responsible for overall directions, while the first line primarily controls the performance of those entry level employees, and the last is the team leader who is in charge of any team activities directed by the top managers. The third presentation discusses the manager rules. It is mentioned that there are several rules a manager must play, including that of the figurehead, who will accept ceremonial tasks and represent the organization. The second function is that of a leader whose primary goal is to inspire and motivate the team. In contrast, a liaison must think outside the box while interacting with others. Additionally, one of your responsibilities as a manager is to keep an eye on the environment and acquire data that will benefit your company. And if you keep an eye on things, your other responsibility is to share the knowledge so that you may establish yourself as a spokesperson for how to handle that information outside the department when reporting it to the other people. And also your other role as a manager, you need to stand and decide what's good for the company. It is important to share the information to other people in order to land the right decision. And if you have right decision, you need to face different pressure and you need to have a disturbance role to remain steadfast. And if you handle it well, you can act this specific role of negotiating to your partners. After all, this all role serves as the framework as a manager. In the fourth film, the positions are discussed this time. The abilities you need to be a manager are discussed. One of the requirements is that a manager have proper or decent manners, technical expertise in sought after the employers, since it is necessarily to complete the job. Nevertheless, it is also critical to have interpersonal skills in order to get along with those you work with. In order to address any difficulties and consider various viewpoints, a manager must possess a very broad range of creativity and mental talents. Besides that, one of the cornerstone is intellectual skills in order to gather information or ideas that will boost the company. In the fifth video entitled Manager Mistakes, it is beyond normal and we can learn from the mistakes that you make as a manager, since you are not always that good or that intuitive every day. This presentation discusses the errors the manager make. It describes being insensitive to others, being overly ambitious and able to form a team, and being unduly dependent. After all, the finest manager in town that we have today learn from both other people's mistakes and their own faults. Video number 6. This video presentation explains how having a highly structured management practice will give you an advantage over others. Some excellent management practices are discussed in this video. A sense of warm and high compensation contingent on this will help employees become more creative and passionate. And if a management has extremely excellent employment security, it will recruit and retain those talented people who will help the company achieve its goals. Sharing of information, if management have a clean manner of communicating, it will produce a united place that will help the firm and employee work together. Training and skills development, this practice will not only benefit the company but will also help the employees grow more competent. The history of management is explained in the seventh video. It described the sowing of management knowledge intellectual seeds, from small changes to commute and the needs for knowledge. It described how the industrial age saw management slowly rise with some invention that helped the industry become better. From this small crawl, it reaches the production area where it discusses how well managed production requires, leading to the need for an individual to manage. From this individual manager, it describes how it leads to the organizations that we'll know today. The eighth video presents the background of scientific management. It claims that scientific management is thoroughly investigated and tried with many approaches to determine how to carry out a task. Famous people are also mentioned in the narrative, including Frederick W. Taylor, who is regarded as the originator of scientific management. This video depicts Taylor trying to increase output for management on his own. After attempting to increase output and hiring some workers, he encountered social pressure from other workers. As a result, he encountered a number of difficulties, such as when they attempted to break the machine, so Taylor added some violations into it. He developed the scientific management principle in order to elevate all the events which are full potential cooperate and divide principles and establish a science for each component of work. After Taylor established those guidelines, he could claim that a fair days of work used to be considered. The ninth video demonstrates Gilbreth motion studies like Taylor, their interests in and contribution to management are significantly influenced by the Gilbreth experiences. This video demonstrates how breaking down each work or profession into its individual motions make it easier to classify them. Motion research, in Frank Gilbreth's opinion, is essential for creating a well-run management since it separates information that makes it easier for him to understand the plans. He runs efficiently and managed to develop himself with competent qualities thanks to motion analysis. Her wife, Lillian Gilbreth, who made a significant contribution to manage on her own, is also featured here. In the last video presentation, Henry Gantt, the Gantt chart, and his management contributions are discussed. Gantt charts are described as a visual representation of the tasks that must be accomplished at what period in order to complete a project or assignment. It aids in management improvement and improves management since it is sufficient in that it represents information in a graphical format. This method is highly popular at the moment because it is more well organized and thorough than the most computer programs and spreadsheets. He also mentioned the importance of training that due to training it produces one-of-a-kind worker that will achieve their best performance levels, also resistant to those supervisors regarding to training.